What's up guys, Tommy Benny here, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to become better at snowboarding. I'm going to teach you guys a couple tricks, and all you need is your living room. Pretty sick, so let's get right into it. So I have a couple options here. Of course, bare minimum, if you just have your snowboard boots, we can do the same tricks that I'm about to talk about here in a second. So I'm not gonna use my snowboard. I have a snowboard addiction board, which is super sick because I don't need to put shoes on. I just keep my nice little socks on and do that. So I'm gonna jib on this, but of course you can use your snowboard and your snowboard boots for this whole entire tutorial, this whole video. So you can use that. You can also pick up one of these guys. I'll leave a link in the description down below, so if you wanna pick one up. And then I got a couple things that I'll introduce a little bit later, which is gonna make, this video a little bit more challenging, so when you get bored, we can just kind of step it up a little bit. So I'm gonna strap in and we'll get into our first trick. All right guys, now that I'm all strapped in, the first thing we're gonna learn is a tail press. So a tail press simply means we're gonna be shifting our center of mass over our tail to get the nose of our board sticking up. Now this is really fun because it's super low consequence, gets our bodies to start shifting, moving and grooving, and then we can elevate this here in a little bit. So what I'm simply gonna do is keep my shoulders, hips, and board all stacked over each other. I'm gonna bend my back knee and I'm gonna start shifting my weight back. So naturally, as I shift my weight back, the front of the board is gonna go up. Now notice that my shoulder, hip, and knee are all stacked just outside the binding. If I wanna make this more intense, I can bring this knee up and retract it, and now I can get that nose come up even more. To make this a little bit more challenging, let's make it a little bit more fun, I actually wanna be able to jump and then land in a tail press. So we'll do it like this, boom. Oh, so notice that I have to balance in this position, which is super good. I may need to use my hands, I may need to use my knees and my front foot to be able to adjust as needed. But one thing I want you guys to avoid when you take this to snow, the body position of being stacked is very important. If I take my lead shoulder and I open it this way, once I get onto snow, I'm gonna start drifting and it's gonna be less controlled, especially when it comes to putting this to a box or a rail. So I wanna teach you these good habits now. So like I said, we're gonna jump up, keep this shoulder pointed straight out. So boom, keep it there, balance. Now I can just pop out, feeling pretty awesome. Next one that we're gonna learn is a nose press. It's gonna be a very similar movement. We're just shifting everything kind of mirror image. So I'm gonna go forward. Oh yeah, okay, that's challenging. Okay, now you have a couple options with your eyes. You can keep your eyes at your board to kind of see where you're going, but a lot of times when we're actually snowboarding, we want to look where we're going. So I got to be able to balance without looking. So try those two options. First, look down. Next, look where you're going. Have the ability to do both. Pretty sick, right guys? The next trick that we're gonna learn is gonna be some 180s. Now we're gonna start by doing frontside and then backside 180s. So I have designated this couch / window as what my downhill is, okay? So we wanna have a specific direction so we know where to look, know what to do. Now that I know which direction I wanna do, I gotta determine which spin I'm gonna do. So we're gonna start with a frontside 180. So I'm gonna take my lead shoulder, I'm gonna close it a little bit, so I'm winding this thing up like a baseball bat, right? So I'm loading this shoulder up and I'm gonna get down. Now that I'm down, I'm gonna open the shoulder up really quick and pop with my legs. So it's gonna look like this. Boom. When we translate this to actually going on hill, one of the biggest struggles that people will have is that their back shoulder does not complete the 180, and this is what it looks like. Now when I'm on snow, I may slip out and fall. Yes, I can get away with it now, but let's get those good habits. So I like to think about getting the shoulder, throwing, and then I'm gonna get this back shoulder to point directly at you. So it looks like this. Boom. Next thing is, make sure when you do this 180 that you're absorbing the impact to make it nice and quiet. That's gonna ensure that we're using our bodies and we're staying active, making it super awesome. So just like this. Nice and quiet. A lot of you guys really like frontside 180s because it's very intuitive and you get to see the entire time. as I rotate, I'm being able to look at my landing just like this, right? Now, when it comes to backside, I do have to go blind, and there's two different thought processes when it comes to where we're looking. We're gonna go over both of them, totally okay. So let's break it down to the beginning. I wanna get my spine to be relatively vertical, so it's staying up. I'm bending my knees, getting low, and I'm gonna take my shoulder and I'm gonna open it up. And then as I throw the trick, this shoulder's gonna throw, these legs are gonna pop. My legs let me get in the air. My shoulder lets me get the rotation that I need. As I do that, I have two options as far as where I look. I like to either look over my lead shoulder, and I'm trying to spot the camera or downhill as soon as possible, like this. Notice that I land back in this stacked position. Notice that I'm not here, I'm not here, I'm nowhere, kind of weird. I'm trying to land both feet at the same time. The other option as far as spotting is you can look underneath your back armpit, but you're trying to look back towards the camera again, just like this. So kind of a similar thought, but am I looking up and over the shoulder or I'm looking down? Get comfortable with both of them. They both have their pros and cons. Boom. Should we make this a little bit more interesting, a little bit more challenging? Watch this. This is kind of a nice little hack. Okay, don't tell your mom, she might get mad, but this is totally cool. What this is gonna do is it makes the surface that we're landing on super unstable, which means we have to be on point with our body positions, and we gotta actually be able to balance as soon as we land. So let's work on a couple of those, whoa! Let's work on a couple of those tricks that we've already done. So we're gonna do tail press, nose press, 180s, backside and frontside 180. So let's go right through it. Down move, tail press. Woo! All right, that first one, it's harder than you think, guys, but it's pretty fun. All right, let's go again. Pop in, pop out. One thing you guys will notice that I did not say earlier, if I have a specific spot that I wanna land, I'm lining up my belly button with the dead center of this cushion. But you'll notice as I jump, I'm actually shifting my board underneath my feet where my belly button stays in the exact same spot. This is really nice because you're gonna be able to move really fast with your lower body, get there and come back. Now, if you really want to challenge, see if you can hold this for a minute. I'm not gonna do that. I'll leave that up to you guys. Hit me up on Instagram. Show me your guys' variation of anything that we're doing here, and I'll give you guys a shout out on Instagram. So tag me and I'll reshare it on the gram. It's gonna be sick. Now when it comes to 180s, we have a couple options. We can go from 180s where we're facing the feature. So if I were to do a frontside 180, technically this is off the toes. And then, so that's off the toes, which is a good variation. We can also do a 180 you can also do a 180 from the other side. So I know that got really in-depth, got really nerdy. We're gonna step it up a little bit and make things a little bit more challenging. So what I've done, thanks Mom. I don't live with my mom, by the way, just wanted to be clear. All right guys, so if we wanna make this more challenging, we can add a foam roller, or like, you know, there's some of these like, anything that's round. Now, granted, this is gonna make things way more challenging, trust me, because as you get on this thing, it's naturally gonna wanna move. The biggest thing that you gotta remember is landing on this perfectly stacked. So if my body is directly over on top of this thing, I'm gonna be fine. But imagine that my weight is super back here. Well, I'm instantly gonna slip out, fall over, it's not gonna be sick. Imagine we're walking on ice and I'm leaning back here, my feet are done. So make sure you take your time, progress your way up to this. And if you want to, you can put cushions around. So if you do fall, then you can land on some cushions. But this is the next level of what we're getting into. The first thing we're gonna do is get used to getting on this thing. So I'm simply gonna jump onto this feature, remembering my stacked position, meaning my shoulders, hips, and board are all over, directly on top of it. And I'm gonna have to make fine adjustments with my ankle to get, to make sure that I am balanced. So let's see how it goes. Oh, okay. Nice first one, kind of test it out a little bit. Now I gotta make those fine adjustments. Lift up my toes, push my toes down, get my body to be stacked. Now, you could do this all by yourself for like 5 minutes and just work on that and you would have a good time. Before doing any crazy 180s, nose presses, or tail presses on this, I got a fun little challenge for you. What I want you guys to do is hop on this thing and perform 3 squats as low as you can go without jumping off. Let's see if we can do it. If I can do it, I believe you guys can do it. So let's see. Get your balance. Squat down. Stand back up. Squat down. Stand back up. Woo! That's a fun one. That definitely tests your body position. If your body positions are off, you're instantly gonna fall over. So make sure you dial those body positions in and do that. This is the next level. I'm gonna try a tail press. Exactly what we just did there, but I wanna elevate it a little bit, so wish me some luck, guys. Ooh, a little spicy, guys. So if you're gonna do this tail press, please be warned. Not fully a tail press, but I can cheat it by getting half of my board off the feature so it forces me kind of in the back, and then we can really go for it. Here we go. Cool. Now, if you're really feeling like you want to step this up and take it to the next level, you can totally do some 180s on this thing. 180s in, 180s out, or you can board slide. So let's try a couple variations and see what we can get into. Another fun one is trying to rock from foot to foot. Try to go outside. Oh, woo! I'm getting tired, guys. This is a good one. Imagine if you did this for the next like 10 days in a row. You know how good you would be? I have a tire here. It doesn't look like a tire, but it's a tire. I don't want to wreck my entire living room. You can do the same thing on a tire. You can do it on the cushion. Like I said, guys, you could be super creative. You can use all of these tools that are already at your house. If you're stuck in here, let's make the best of it. I feel like I just got a 15-minute workout. I also got to work on some of my body positions and feel like I'm getting better at snowboarding. If you think about the tricks that you want to learn and then how do we figure out how to do them that's actually going to translate into snowboarding, that's pretty important. So it's totally okay that you're using a snowboard addiction. It might feel a little different when it comes to snow, but we may be talking 10%. Your body's not even going to really feel the difference. So when you're using a snowboard addiction board or a snowboard, you're primarily focused on the body positions, the tricks, and how do we translate that trick to snow. Remember, you can also do frontside 180s, backside 180s, cab, and switchback 180s. You can also do 360s on the ground. Should we try one real quick before we go? Let's do a 360, and then we're gonna end this video. So, watch this. You can work on these tricks. Let's do the other way. Woo! I almost fell out, but the thing is, you can be working on so many tricks while we're going through this whole thing. So if I missed anything in this progression, or you have any crazy clever ideas on how to jib in your house and make it a little bit better, make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, I post on Instagram every single day, and I will be doing a lot of breakdowns on there. I also do live streams on Tuesdays, and I post a new snowboard video every single Friday at 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, of course. And you guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And like always, I hope you guys are killing it. And we're out of here. All right, guys. Bye.